over the years, I have read, oh my God, thousands of documents about Degrassi. Specifically, I have seen meetings where you guys have sat with young actors and written down their ideas. Maybe you've been in Blue Sky meetings and written down ideas. And I've even seen like full researched outlines that never got made. I have about 5 Degrassi storylines that almost happened but never did. It's okay if you don't remember them, but I'm wondering if I can bring them up to you and you can tell me if they bring back any memories or if you think they could have been possible or what you think about these suggestions. Does that sound okay?
Sure, sure.
Okay. One of the prompts that I found was from a meeting between, it was like you, Linda, and Kit. And one of the ideas was that Shane would bring a gun to school and that Spike might be the one to use it. Do you have any memories of exploring that? Or do you think that that was a story that could happen on Degrassi?
No, I don't remember it. I think we would have been very careful about doing that
Mm-hmm.
because our show was watched by kids, and kids can do some pretty weird things. So you have to
Yes.
be careful.
The copycat effect, right?
Yes, very much so.
Yes, that makes sense. In the deeper in the outline, it had said that Shane was feeling isolated and lonely because of the stuff that was going on, and then Spike had found it and ended up using it. So I think it would have been a really interesting story, but I was really shocked by the idea that Spike might use her gun at school. So that was interesting. One story I kept seeing being repeated in these notes was that Spike should give up her baby. The whole idea was she'd try to be a mom and then she couldn't do it, and she would end up giving up her baby. Do you think that that would have changed the trajectory of Degrassi? Do you think we would have got TNG if that happened?
No,
Mm,
no, I think that was an extremely important thing to happen.
I agree. It made a pretty big impact on the rest of the show.
Yeah,
I love that. The third storyline that I found out about was okay, I actually read like I think it was the very first script for Degrassi Schools Out. Lucy died in it. There was a whole bunch of stuff. But the thing I wanted to ask you about specifically was Joey and Tessa were originally meant to fall in love and keep their baby. Do you remember planning the Degrassi Schools Out movie? And do you think that that would be possible to happen? Like, what do you think about that happening?
I don't remember it at all, and I no, I can't see it. I can't see Degrassi telling that story.
I was shocked by it. It was basically Joey had kind of decided that this was his time to step up and be mature, and he dumped Caitlin in the original outline or the original script and then fell in love with Tessa. I have to imagine that it would be absolutely TNG. It would be absolutely crazy if, like, in season 2, Joey and Tessa's lost baby showed up. That would be next level.
Damn, I wish I thought of that.
Okay, number 4. I read a note that it was written by you. It said, whatever we do, we'll make sure to incorporate Dio, BLT's, ability to play the saxophone. Did you ever hear him play the sax? And how could you imagine fitting that in if you ever got to?
I don't know. I'm not sure if Dio had a musical bone in his body. I don't know.
That's what it said. Whatever we do, we'll incorporate Dio's ability to play the sax.
Oops.
I know it's funny to read the ones that never happen. I'm like, oh, interesting. I have to guess that the Zit Remedy is desperate for another member and they invite him on and maybe it goes horribly or maybe he outshines them, maybe. Another one that I saw is that instead of a cheating scandal, we know that Caitlin's dad cheats on her mom. Originally, the family secret was that Caitlin was the result of artificial insemination. Now, today, I can't imagine that that would be too much of a big deal. Caitlin might be upset about it. But in terms of a storyline, do you think that that would have been something controversial in the 80s?
Yes.
Oh, can you tell me a bit more about why? Because I wouldn't see it as controversial.
No, well, because things aren't as open as they can be yet, but certainly it's a much opener, freer world. More things are possible. More things are dealt with. More things are okay.
That makes sense. It was really cool when I got to read these documents because I was specifically looking for episodes I'd never seen before. And then I got to this one about Caitlin's parents having a secret. And I was like, oh, I've seen that. That's the divorce. And then I was like, oh, it's about artificial insemination. And someone had like spoken to a specialist, had talked to someone who had experienced it and what they felt like growing up with parents who had done that. So it was really cool to see the behind the scenes of how much work goes into these stories, even if at the end they end up changing and they say, oh, let's go with divorce instead. So that was cool how much care you guys put into the stories, even that didn't make it onto TV.
Well, we love the show. We love the show. Yeah, you take care of what you love, you know?
True. I love that. I love that so much. I love the show too, so I get it.
Good, good.
I got two left. One's more of a somber one, and then we have a funny one to end on.
Okay.
One thing that I saw brought up over and over again, you guys had this meeting with the kids. You had three different, and I remember this because I read this, so I know that it's a long time to ask you to remember this. But there was three groups. You broke the kids up into thirds, and in every single one, there was one idea that was thrown out by all of them. And it was that a character experienced a sexual assault by another student, not by a teacher, not by someone outside of the school or a parent, but by another student. And of course, that doesn't actually happen in the show. Do you think do you remember if that was a story you guys really explored? And if it did happen on Degrassi, how do you think you would tell it?
I wouldn't explore that story because we were kids see something on TV, they decide to do it, they follow up on it. They think it's cool.
Copycat, yeah.
So we didn't tell that story enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can imagine very difficult when you feel like you know these children and you're having them go through something like that. Yeah. If I had to guess, I would assume, because I think it was part of the notes of like how it could happen. I would have to guess maybe Kathleen and Scott if the story was told, because Kathleen was in an abusive relationship with Scott. So that's my guess as Degrassi Kid of when it would come in. The last one's a way more fun one because I think that this would be crazy. There was and this was like pretty well written, as like almost about to happen. Spike finds out that her mom is dating Mr. Raditch. What would you think if Spike found out that her mom was dating Mr. Raditch?
She would be horrified because teachers aren't human beings. Teachers are teachers.
I know. Like, what's she going to move into the school or something?
Yeah.
The reason I stopped at that one specifically is because how crazy would it have been if Spike found out that her mom was dating Raditch, and then Emma goes to school and finds out that her mom is dating Simpson? That would have been crazy.
It would have been.